they defended the field great. They didn't make an error all day. And so that's really important. It was really, really important.
Alex?
Riley was saying that you guys feel like you're the best team with 2 outs in the country. Where did that mindset come from? How did you have to foster that aggressive mentality at the plate?
You know what? From the second I got hired and our staff was here, we've always told our guys we'll never stop competing. It doesn't matter. We could be down to the last out, the last strike. It doesn't matter until the third out's made. That's what's so awesome about our sport. There's other sports where there's a time clock and time just run out. And you go, you know what, man, if we just had another 5 seconds or 3 seconds. Our sport's different. Our sport's different. It's never over until the last out's made. And that goes to the last strike. And to Zach's credit and our team's credit, you know what? And I remember Zach Pop early in the year just kept bringing it up to our team. Coach, we just scored 2 more runs with no outs. This whole inning started with nobody out. It's like our team noticed it themselves. But the mindset and approach of never stop competing was something we put in immediately.
Garrett?
In the 8th inning with Sean, what was those conversations like if you're going to send him back out, and once he did go back out and allow those runs?
Oh yeah, so Sean, he's on 8 days rest, and every time he's ever had that extra day's rest, he's thrown great. So he was at 102 pitches. They got a couple singles, and then obviously the left-hander ran the ball out of the yard. But to me, he was cruising. I mean, I think you guys would agree. I mean, at that point, I think they only had 3 hits in the game. Sure, he had some walks, but man, I thought he was throwing a ton of strikes. And inning before might have been his best inning of the game.
Go ahead.
What's on tap for this evening? Will the team be watching the IU NC State game?
So I basically instructed them to stay out of the sun. And that I didn't want them at the ballpark here. So if they wanted to watch, they can, but I wanted them to watch on their computers or their tablets or their phones. And I wanted them to spend time with each other. I said, hey, I know you guys have a lot of families and friends in town, but it would be great if you guys spend time with each other and watch the game and stay out of the sun.
Jeff, follow up on that. It's a little bit of a different atmosphere weather-wise than what you played virtually the whole season. Do you have to do anything special for the guys?
You know what? That's so funny you said that. And I came home and I told Kristen this a couple weeks ago. Gunnar McNeil came up to me a couple weeks ago. He goes, Coach, you know what? One of the best things you've done with our program? And I'm like, man, this I don't know what Gunnar's thinking here, right? And I'm like thinking student, person, player, family, winning, development, like our game goals, learning and competing. He's like, hydration, Coach. Hydration. I'm like, really? He's like, Coach, you don't realize, but it's really easy to get dehydrated. So, believe it or not, that's been the message: is how important to stay hydrated. It is. So, obviously, being in the last week in Birmingham, the weather and temperatures were pretty similar the last couple days. So, they'll get hydrated, they'll stay fresh and sharp, and be ready to go tomorrow night.
Go ahead, John.
Do you have an idea for your pitching plan tomorrow, or will that depend on who wins?
Yeah, we'll see who wins. We'll see who wins, and we'll watch tonight. Obviously, we've studied a lot of video, but haven't fully made a decision yet.
Joe.
You kind of brought up your memories from 2006 quite a bit. How did today stack up against kind of those memories you had in your head?
Yeah, this was exactly what we talked about. And when Kristen and I talked about this job, I basically said, Kristen, I promise we can win here, and we can host regionals, and we can do it. And I didn't know how many people would show up. And as that game went on and I saw all those people, I was just so thankful and appreciative of the Big Blue Nation, because, it's 12 o'clock on a Friday. There's a lot of people, right? Like, you're looking around going like, shouldn't these people be at work? Right? Maybe they got my letter on social media, but it was really neat. I just cannot thank our fans enough, because Mitch Barnhart and the rest of our athletic department, all they've done is made commitments to every sport. And I was just really happy to see that everybody was here and supporting our young men.
Oscar.
Nick, tried to hit the home run in the 8th inning. They cut the score in half. What was your thinking at that point? Just think about how the pitching changed before then?
No, not prior, but we had Chris ready to go. So we had him hot, and Coach Bellinger went out there and talked to him, and obviously set up the game plan. And to his credit, man, he swung at the first pitch and hit that thing a long way. But we had Chris ready, and he had maybe a batter or two left. And then obviously at that point, when he gave up the home run, we just brought in Chris.